on our YouTube channel. So welcome to this webinar on delivery route planning with load management in our PDMX warehouse management solution. This is a particular specific topic that I would like to show to you and will also make clear that the product that we have brought on the market in 2009 is still evolving. Now, my name is Luc van der Perre. I'm responsible for partner enablement and marketing at Produmex. So as a first step, I would like to give you a bit of information about the current status of our company. So Produmex was founded in 2004 and is headquartered in a small town near Brussels. And at present, we also have own operations in Hungary, in Budapest, and across the USA, in Atlanta, Denver, Colorado, High Point, North Carolina, Maryland, Columbia, Maryland, and then Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Canada, and Vancouver, British Columbia, also in Vancouver. Now, Produmex is 100% focused on SAP Business One. And we have specialized in add-on development for SAP Business One, where we have currently two suites, namely our PDMX suite for SAP Business One, and where we also have acquired a BX software suite for SAP Business One, which is very complementary to what we do with PDMX. Now, Produmex is a global SAP software solution partner, so we work with partners across the world, and we're also a member of the SAP Product Advisory Council, so the so-called SPAC. Now, in April of this year, we were named Best SAP Business One Software Solution Partner for the EMEA region. And currently, we have combined our two software suites, more than 340 installations in 30 countries worldwide. And we collaborate with 60 partners, or more than 60 partners worldwide. Now, what I will be showing you is part of our PDMX for SAP Business One, which is an advanced warehouse management solution, which also offers a number of specific functions for micro verticals in food industry, in life sciences, in third-party logistics, and so on, which is based on the GS1 industry standards for identification of products and logistic units in the supply chain, so as a basis for traceability. So you will see that also in the demonstration that I will be conducting. And during this demo, I will focus specifically on the delivery routes and the load management function that we have. But I'll first give you a few things also about the configuration of this setup to enable the load management that I will demonstrate to you. Okay. So that as an introduction. So let me now go to the actual system. So you are familiar with Produmex. It consists of two parts. So on the one hand, we have got the advanced warehouse management functions that are part of the SAP Business One menu, and where we extend SAP Business One with a number of functions for advanced logistics management. One of which is the routes that I will be showing you today. And on the other hand, we have then the RF terminal, where we support the processes, the inbound logistics process, so for purchasing to goods receipt and storage, the outbound logistics processes from sales to picking and shipping, the internal logistics process, where we have the cycle counting and all the internal moves, and we also have functions that tie in with production, so where we do picking for production and receipt from production. Now, for the configuration, you are familiar with the organizational structure of Produmex, which is the engine behind our solution, and where we configure the layout of the warehouse and where we define also the characteristics of the different zones. So in this case, I have here a zone for my docks, where I have defined a number of shipping and receiving docks, which we will be using during the delivery route execution. We have got our pick locations that you see over here, where we can define at the level of the pick location whether specific locations are reserved for particular products, and where we can also define minimum and maximum levels and also replenishment levels. We also have, say, packing locations where we can execute pick and pack operations and so forth. And so also production zone is present here, where we can define production lines, input and output locations, and also a specific silo and tank locations. Apart from this visual layout, we also have the configuration of a large number of parameters that we can define to fine-tune the execution of the warehouse operations. So this is the background of our solution. Now, for this particular example of delivery route planning and execution, I want to show you a few parameters that I have set on the item master data and that we will be using in the context of the delivery route planning and execution. So if I go to my inventory and my item master data, I have for specific items, I have configured also their volume and their dimensions. And because if you talk about load management, then of course you also need to base yourself on specific data. Now in this case, it is a simple example. What I have done here is I have a particular item for which I have defined a volume in cubic meters for the stock keeping unit, and so which is say an individual piece, and I have also defined the weight for this stock keeping unit, and these data will be used when we will be calculating the load management for a delivery route. So this is the simple configuration that we have behind this. You are familiar that we also have a Produmex tab here where we can define lots of information about this product, including its standard location, its zone type, and so forth, and also a number of characteristics relating to the sales process, the purchasing process, the production process, and other parameters. So that is the small part on configuration that I wanted to inform you of. Now let us dive into the routes functionality that we offer within Produmex. So apart from the individual picking of pick lists and the individual shipping of pick lists, Produmex also offers a possibility to combine pick lists in two ways. On the one hand, we can combine pick lists by defining a wave of pick lists. So that is based on saying we are going to group these pick lists on an ad hoc basis. We are going to pick them, and then we also have the possibility to ship them as a wave out. That's one possibility. Another possibility, which is much more formalized, is that we base ourselves on routes. And in routes we have 4 steps. On the one hand, we have the definition of route templates. In a route template, what you have there is that you can define the required number or all the possible routes that you want to define, and you can define them based on, for instance, the type of customers. So for instance, if you have a route for your food customers or pharma customers, then you can group them in such a route. In this case, I have also based it on geographical criteria, so I have defined here a route for Northwest England. So that is my my template. And what you see in this template is that I have defined that there are a number of customers that belong to this route. So I have here 3 customers which I have identified as, okay, these belong to this specific route, and what I can do from this route template is that I can change here the order of the customers on the route. So I have here my arrows with which I can change the order of the customers on this route. I can add clients to this route template, or I can delete clients from this route template. So I have the flexibility here to have a template but adapt it based on specific requirements. Okay, so this is my my route template. Now, if I want to execute a route, the system will require that it checks whether there are sales orders for that particular route. So I have defined now 3 customers that belong to this route, and when I want to check are there sales orders for this route, I go into my route details. So I click on route details, I select my route date, today. I select the template based on which I want to check whether there are sales orders to be delivered. So I have my route Northwest England here, and I also select my warehouse from which I want to execute the route. So we can have routes, if you have different warehouses defined in your organization, we can execute routes from all of these warehouses. So in this case, I'm looking for delivery that I have to make from my warehouse 1. So if I have set these parameters, I can now check whether there are sales orders that need to be delivered for this route. So I click on OK. And OK, so there are 3 sales orders. So for each customer that is on the route, there is a sales order that needs to be delivered. And what the system has currently done, it has created the route. So it has now created an instance of this route, and it has already created the pick list proposals for this route. So currently, what I see on this screen is that the food stock is available to execute this route. So what I can do now from here is I can keep the pick list proposals and generate the pick list proposals at a later stage, the pick list at the later stage, or I can immediately generate the pick lists from here. Okay, so let me do that. I generate my pick list, and I have now 3 pick lists for the orders that are on this route. The next step that I have is that I'm going to do route planning. So currently, what I have is I have this dashboard over here, in which I see all the open routes that have been defined. So currently, I only have 1 open route here. So what I can do is I can manage this route now in this quadrant of my dashboard. So if I click on here, then I see that I have moved my route to this quadrant, and I see that it consists of 3 pick lists that I have here for these 3 customers, and that the current status of this pick list is that they are not ready yet, and that I currently have no logistic units for this pick list. So they haven't been picked yet. What I also see here is that I currently have a pick list which is not associated with a specific route. So what I could do from here is that I could say, okay, I'm going to move that onto this existing route, so I could add it to it, or I could move it back on from it, or what I could also do is I could create a new route on an ad hoc basis from here. So if I say new route, I could give it a name here, new route. I could have my shipping dock 1 as the loading dock, and I could create it. And then I could manipulate that route over here. So I would say, let's make it like this. I have now moved my second route here, but currently I have no pick lists on it. So what I currently have is that I could move this pick list onto this new route, and now I would have two routes available. So that is the basic operation of the solution. Now, what we have currently done is that we have combined this functionality with the functions we have at the level of container management. So we also support the notions of purchasing containers and of sales containers. So if I go to Produmex Sales Container Management, I can define now a container for either a sales assignment, for a purchasing assignment, or also for a route. So I can associate it with a specific route. So let's now say we're going to create a containers. So just imagine this is a truck, and so you're defining a truck that you're going to use for a particular route. So I'm indicating that it is a route. And what you see now is that based on the fact that I select that it is, if it is a purchase or a sales container, the system will allow me to add purchase order or sales lines to the route. If I define it as a route container, then it will ask me to add a route to the container. So if I now go here and I press the tab key, I will now get an overview of the available routes I have. And you see here, I have my route Northwest England here and my new route that I've just created. So I'm going to add the route Northwest England over here. And what you see at this moment is that it has defined the route and all of its contents as part of this route, and it has also calculated the weight and the volume of the route based on the item master data. So it knows how many pick lists for which products are in this route. So based on that, it has calculated the weight and the volume and also the price of the container. So what you see here is that currently we have the green light. So everything seems to be in order. Now if I would say, okay, my container can hold 425 kilos. Oh yes, okay, I first have to specify the code. Excuse me. So this is my container 1209. Container 1209. So I specify now the maximum weight of 425 kilos, and it says that's all right. I specify a maximum price of say $1,000, and it changes to a shift. It shifts to yellow, which indicates that the price is below the value that we would consider to be normal for a particular container. So it's just based on the settings that you have. So if I would say it's $400, then that would turn to green again. And if I would say the total volume that I can have in this container is I say in cubic meter, I would say that cubic decimeter, cubic meter. I would say okay, it's 0.25. So okay, so you see this is now below and the quantity that I can load into the container. So I have defined my container now. And what you will now see, if I go onto my route dashboard again and I refresh it, then you will now see that on top of what I have here right now, that you will also get the data of where I am with the load of this container. It tells me that for the weight, I am at 94% of the weight of the container. As for the value, I'm at 94% as well, and as for the volume, I'm currently at 80%. So I have now an idea of how well is my my truck loaded, my container loaded. So what I can do now, if I would say I'm going to move another pick list onto my route, the system will immediately show me, is it possible to move that on there? So if I move it over here, what you will see now is that it turns to red at all levels. It tells me both as well on the level of the volume, as on the level of the weight and the value, you exceed the maximum settings for this container or truck. Okay, so this is the way that we have integrated the aspects of load management with, say, the delivery route functions. So in this case, as it is not possible to put this pick list into this container, I'm going to move it back here, or I can move it back to this other route. So this is currently the setup. So these are my routes. If I now go to my routes functionality again, I have also here my routes map. So what I see now is that I have two possible routes, my new route and my route Northwest England. If I click on here, you will see that my route Northwest England appears. A is the indication of my warehouse, so where my warehouse is situated, and 1B, 1C and 1D are the drop-off points of my route in order of execution. Now, in order to set this up in SAP Business One, it is of course necessary that for the business partners as well as for your own warehouses, you need to define the ship to addresses in order for the system to be able to use it for this functionality. So what you also have here is that we have the driving directions that we have. And in the next version of PDMX, we will also have an integration here with, say, electronic proof of delivery solution that we have acquired within our group of companies. So this is currently my routes map. Also, this is something which can be adapted. If I were to decide, okay, let me move this one back onto that again. So even if it says, okay, it cannot do that, it would affect my routes maps immediately in the sense that it would add a new drop-off point to my route. Okay. So let's go back now and move it back onto here. Okay. So what we currently have is we have got 4 pick lists that belong to 2 routes currently, and we have 1 truck that is suited to contain all the deliveries for that one for both routes. Okay. So let us now execute the picking and the shipping of this route. So if we go now to our sales process, we have got 2 ways of executing this picking process. We have got the normal picking process, which will show us all the pick lists that we have just created. So this is a way of doing it. So we can just go use this standard picking process of Produmex. Now the standard Produmex picking process is very directive. It will tell me and it will force me to pick the goods that have been allocated by the system. Another way, and which is a way which is more free in the picking process, is that we can also use the ad hoc picking process. Now, in the ad hoc picking process, we can immediately define whether we're going to pick for a particular pick list or also for a route. So if I now click here on route, the system will show me the two routes I have, and he will allow me to pick for that particular route. So it's a different way of picking, but it also has an effect on the freedom or the liberty I have in picking. So let me start by the normal picking, the ad hoc picking process. So what I see here is I pick my route, and he says, okay, these are the pick lists. So I select a particular pick list, and he will tell me now, okay, you need to go at this location where you need to pick a pallet. Now, I will show you the alternative process for the next pick list. Here he tells me only go to this location and pick a pallet. He does not tell me at this moment which pallet I should pick. So if I then go to that location, I can either scan the identification of a logistic unit, so the so-called SCCC, or I can enter the location. So in this case, I'm going to the location. And now he asks me to select or scan the product. So this is the product. And now he proposes me the logistic unit, and he offers me the choice to select whatever logistic unit that is at that location. So he says, well, just pick a logistic unit that you want to pick for this order. So I have the liberty here, and this is a process which is of course very interesting if you don't have to care about expiry dates, and where it's particularly interesting if a particular pallet that you would have to pick would be located at the back of the location, so then it would be easier to pick another pallet instead. So let me assume that I'm going to pick this pallet for this pick list. Okay, and I say it's the full pallet that I'm going to pick. All items are picked. So this is the way that the ad hoc picking process works. So it now generates the SCCC label for this. So he has created a shipping label now for this pick list. So if I now proceed through the other picking process, you will see that this is different. So here I'm going through this. So this is the pick list that is on my route here, Gallery Art Spaces. I select it, and now you see that he is much more directive. He will now tell me you need to go to this location and you need to pick this particular pallet. He will enforce me to pick that pallet. So I go there. I'm going to have to do a full pallet pick. So I scan the logistic unit, and it is picked. Okay. Okay, and then I need to pick another one still. And that is picked as well. Okay. And then I have got my final pick list, where I need to pick also a particular SCCC. So this one, no, I have to enter the 00. The items are picked. Okay, so I have now picked all the pick list, and you have noticed the difference between the particular processes, picking and ad hoc picking. Okay, so if I now go to my dashboard again and I click on refresh, then you see that the system now indicates that he's got one logistic unit for this pick list, two for this pick list, and one for this pick list, and that the status has now changed to pack. Okay, so if I want to conclude the execution of the route now, I can go to the shipping process. So I click on shipping, click on my shipping doc 1, I select a pick list, and it will not show me a pick list. I can go back and say I'm going to ship based on a route, and it will not show me a route. The reason for that is that up till this moment, when the route has not been released yet by the warehouse supervisor, it is not possible to ship it already. It's only at the moment that the route is released by the warehouse supervisor that the pick list will become available for shipping. And up till this moment, the warehouse supervisor still has the chance to change the order of the route. So what he could do is he could say, okay, I'm going to move this one down and this one also one down, and that would have an effect on the route in the sense that, again, the route would be changed. So up till this moment, the manager has the possibility to change the order of the routes. Okay. So this one needs to go down here. Okay. So you see that I'm very flexible in manipulating the route up to the moment that I'm saying I'm going to release it. So if I now click here on route Northwest England and click on release route, the route will become available for shipping. And if I then go onto my terminal again and I go to sales shipping from my shipping doc 1 based on a route, then he will show me all the SECCs that I have to ship for that route. And he will show me them also in the order that they need to be shipped. So the first one to go on the truck is the last one to go off. So he will load them in the reverse order of delivery. So if I click here, then I can load this logistic unit onto my SCCC. I have also the possibility as a truck driver to change the order. Say if for some reason I as a truck driver would decide because of congestion or something, I'm going to drive the route in an alternative way, we would allow the operator to change the order of the route and load it in a different sequence. So if I would click here, so I'm now taking the last one, the system would give me a warning saying that the scanned SCCC is not in the correct order. Are you sure you want to load it? So I get a warning, but I'm not prevented from doing it. So if I want to load it, I can do it. And in this way, I then can continue with the other SCCCs. Oh, just a moment, I have to scan it. Yes, and then the last one. Okay, and at this moment, so the route is now on the truck, and what the system is doing right now is that it is creating the sales delivery in SAP Business One, and it is also generating the delivery documents that we have defined. So we have now 3 deliveries, where you see here the delivery documents that we have, and if we turn to SAP Business One and we go look for the deliveries, you will see here that we have all the deliveries that have been registered in SAP Business One. So basically, this is what I wanted to show you in the context of the delivery route planning and in combination with load management. I hope that this was clear to you, and if you wish, I am available to you for